What's up YouTube, welcome back to another vlog. Today, some parts showed up, well actually they showed up yesterday, today's Saturday, they showed up Friday. But, I got an oil catch can. Good news. Bad news, it's fucking big. So I got this thing right and I'm looking at the options and there was 500ml, 1 litre or 2 litres, and I was like, I don't want it to be too small, but I don't want it to be too big. We'll go in the middle, 1 litre. Look how big this thing is. It's huge. So this video may not turn out today, but we're gonna make it anyway because this is what happens. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. So, catch can. So this is my catch can. 1 litre, drain on the bottom, filter on the top. 2 what looks to be -12 AN fittings. Sweet, so I got one that can go from my port here, my rock cover, into the bottom, and the one from the top is going to go back where that rubber hose is going there, into the turbo pipe. Now, this thing is fucking big, and I wanted to put it down here. So, first things first, I'm going to take off this intercooler piping, and we're going to see if it actually fits. And then we need to mount it somehow, so we're probably going to have to make a bracket where we deleted our charcoal canister, conveniently enough, has these two 10mm bolts here. So we might be able to make something that goes from here to the back of our catch can here to hold it up. So we'll take all the piping off, we'll do some measuring, and we'll see if this is actually going to fit. Come on, you bastard. I'm gonna do the YouTube thing where this just comes off. That YouTube thing. Come on. Ta-da! 1. Alright. This one's still probably gonna be in the way, so maybe we need to take this one too. Remember what I did with the rock cover last video? Same thing with the open pipe there for the turbo. Don't want anything going in it, so rag. Just in there like that. There we go. Nothing's going to go down into my turbo now, which is mint, because those things are expensive. This front bumper is just sitting on at the moment, so we might just pull that off. Put that somewhere so we can get that intercooler piping off just there. I'm going to expose myself right now, and this is not something I'm really proud of, but it works. So when I got this car right, it had polished intercooler piping with blue joiners. Not a fan, no offense. Polished piping is all good. Blue joiners, nah, they look a bit of rice, you know. First thing I did, paint intercooler piping black and put black joiners that I left over from the 180. So you can see them all around there, right? All these black joiners. Front bumper's got a few vents and stuff in it, you know, aero bar. Down here, right, I couldn't get black joiners. So, electrical tape. Bit bundy, but I mean, it works. So, I need to get some black joiners ASAP, because this is just not really up to par. So I've got the piping off by the bumper, and I rest my catch can in there. And as I suspected, this thing is huge. This ain't gonna fit. So, this is a bust. Sad face. We're gonna have to stop this video here, and we're gonna pick it up when I get something that fits. I might as well throw this in there for those of you that follow me on Instagram. So if you saw my story on Friday night, you guys are probably wondering, what the fuck, why is he parting his car out? I'm not parting my car out. It was just a joke because I'm annoyed about what my dad did to my alarm. So, I was out on a Friday night with some friends in West Auckland. I was about an hour away. Battery went flat because my bonnet's been open. The car's been sitting on stands for like the last 2 weeks. When that happens, the alarm goes off, right? So the alarm started going off, and I was like, oh, Dad, just try to disconnect the battery terminal first. We'll see if that works. If it doesn't work, there should be a key in the top of the box on the spare remote that's somewhere in the house, and you turn it right here and the alarm should turn off. Tell them all this. I get a mail on Facebook about 40 minutes later saying the alarm's ripped out and the car will probably never go again. Sure enough, he just ripped the box out. He didn't cut the wires nicely, he just ripped it out. So now, tried charging my battery, I tried looking under the dash to see if there's any way to turn the alarm immobilizer off to get the car started, but nah, my car doesn't go. So, that's what that was about. My car doesn't go, I'm not actually parting it out, I just need to fix the fucking thing. So, yeah, don't stress, we're not getting rid of the S15, we're not parting out the S15. I just have a car that is immobilized. New day, new catch can. So I just whipped off that piping yesterday and I went and got a new catch can, so we're going to open that now and we're going to be installing a new catch can. It's not ideally the one that I wanted to put in here, but in my opinion it's the next best thing. I wanted to get something that where the charcoal canister would go, but I don't want to pay huge amounts of money for a catch can at this stage when realistically later on I could be taking this all out and redoing it again. So we went and got a GKtech one. So we're going to unbox it now and show you what it comes with, and then we're going to install it in the car, put all the piping back in, and we can finish this video finally. So here we have it here, nice GKtech box. Open this up, got a sticker, can go in the toolbox at work. And here we've got our catch can. I went with black. You know how I like black things over polish, so made sense. So we got that. We got the hoses by the looks and the clamps, so this should be a really easy install. Another thing I did is I had that AN fitting in the rock cover there. Not going to use that anymore just because this catch can setup doesn't have AN fittings on it, so we're going to put our old fitting back in, this one here. I already pulled my AN fitting out, so I'll hold on to this just in case we reuse it, do a different catch can setup or something later on, but for now it isn't going to work. So we're going to get a rubber mallet and bang this back into the rock. Actually first we're going to take this pipe off here because we're no longer going to need this, so along those pliers, get down in here, pull this off. Ooh, just like that. Got my fitting and my rubber mallet. Hopefully bang that back in there like so. So now we've got our fitting back in the rock cover, a factory one. We're going to place the catch can in here. So I've already placed it in here. It's only got one mounting point, so I'm going to assume that it's not the greatest. So what I might actually do is put some double-sided tape just along one of the back edges here, just to stick it to the plastic radiator shroud, just to sort of hold it a little bit firmer. As you can see here, it's only got this one mount, so by the time this is tightened up, it kind of looks like it wobbles a wee bit. So if we put a bit of tape along here, it should hold it nice and firm. Then obviously we can run our lines from there to there, and then our one back down into the turbo over there. So I'll clean this up, put some double-sided tape on it, and then we'll mount this properly. So here's my 2 bits of double-sided tape. What I did first is I cleaned my canister and my shroud with a little bit of brake clean on a rag. I sprayed the brake clean onto the rag, not directly onto this or the shroud, because I didn't want it to damage anything. So now that I've done that, I've got a nice clean surface here and a nice clean surface on here for my tape to get really good adhesion, because we want this to stick really well. Because we don't want this to rattle around, make noises, you know, ruin anything else. So if we can get this to stick good, hopefully with the 3M tape and a bolt through here, we should have a nice secure catch can. Here it is here, nice and firm, double-sided tape on. Remember when you're putting these in, don't over tighten this because it is just a piece of metal going into a piece of plastic, so you know, don't keep cranking it because you'll just end up stripping it out. You just kind of want to nip it with your fingers and that should be heaps. So now all we've got to do is get our pipe running from there and then down back into there. So this black rubber piping that GKtech give you is huge. It's just one long big piece. So what I'm assuming they want you to do is just put it on one end, kind of pull it to how you want it, so about like this, and then mark it and cut it. So I'm going to cut it around about here, and then obviously do the same and run it back that way. You should see we've got heaps of pipe left over, so should have enough here to go from rock cover into our catch can, from our catch can back down into our factory turbo fitting right there. So what I've done here is I've put a clamp on this end here just to hold this thing nice and tight. Then I've pulled my pipe over, and just on the side there with a vivid I put a little dash just so I know about where I want to cut it. Now I'm going to pull this end off, pull this pipe off, cut it nice and square with a craft knife or razor blade, and then we're going to fit it completely onto the car and do the next one. Sometimes these hoses can be hard to push on, so a cool little trick for you guys is just if you've got any tyre shine laying around, just sort of squirt a little bit inside the hose, and then that should give it a nice bit of lubrication just to help you slide the hose over the fitting. And just like that, one hose is on. So now all we have to do is put our one from here into the turbo elbow and should be good to go. So I've just cut my second piece of hose, and I've realised that the way that GKtech have done this is a little bit shit, to be completely honest. When this is across here like this, obviously, look what it's covering. You fucking dipstick. So I've bent this tab around because normally they sit flat and they sit about here where this pipe is going to be. So I've just bent this tab around a little bit square. I want to bend it a little bit more, that way I don't have to fucking take this pipe off every time I want to do an oil change, check my oil, etc. So yeah, bit of a shit design on GKtech's behalf, so bend this if you can before you put this on, just to save yourself some hassle later. So now I've got this all fitted up. You can see we've got our line go straight out of here into our catch can, our other line goes straight back down into our turbo pipe. The reason that I'm doing this is because I want to buy an aftermarket manifold. They tend to sort of bunch up right around this area, come down to get equal length in the header, because as you can see here, this one's a little bit shorter and this one's a little bit shorter than these two. So to get them equal length, they kind of run them down around, do this big sort of jungly thing here, and then down into the turbo. And when that happens, you can't run the factory one that goes from there straight to there because it gets in the way. So this is another way of routing that. Also, it catches all the oil, and instead of it going straight into your turbo, kind of catches it in this can, and then it's just air going back down into there, so it's not a huge deal. So yeah, that's the reason I've done that. So now that we've done all this, we're going to put our intercooler piping back on. Another thing that I'm actually also going to do, now looking at this, the way that this is run, is I'm actually going to buy some heat protective wrap sort of, or sleeve, to go over top of this hosing, just because it is going to be right next to the manifold by the time we do put a big one on there. So if we wrap both these hoses with heat protective stuff, it should stop it from melting when we get our aftermarket manifold on there. So I'm just refitting my intercooler piping now. So I've got this one set up. I just need to tighten my clamp back down there, put a little bit of electrical tape around my Cuzzy Customs hose, make it black again so you can't see it through my front bumper, and then put the one in here, remembering to take our rag out because we don't want to suck that rag into the turbo, because that'll be not good. And then this is complete for now anyway. So I've just installed everything. Personally, I'm pretty happy with how it looks. Functionality wise, I'm not 100% sure or sold on the idea, but for now it's just going to have to do. Obviously, like I always tell you guys, I don't have huge budgets for this kind of thing, so I'm just going to make do with what I've got. And this is kind of more relatable to you guys, because I assume that some of you guys aren't going to have massive amounts of money either, so this is good cheap mods. They look good, they're going to work, but sometimes they're not the most functional. But here it is, finished product. You can see GKtech can from the breather back into the turbo. When we get our high-rise manifold, it should fit really nicely in there, and this breather won't have any problems melting on anything. So here she is, looks good with the black. Got my piping back in, runs down. We probably are going to have an issue with that dipstick. Here it is here. I can still get it and pull it out, but a little bit of a mission. But yeah, hopefully we'll have a manifold soon to chuck on, and there won't be much left to go for a tune, so that's going to be exciting. Hoping to get the 220 kilowatts out of this thing, and I'll probably leave it there because I have another thing planned. I'm not going to say anything because otherwise you guys will be disappointed if I don't do it, but there could be something else coming to the channel soon, so stay tuned for that. And yeah, like, comment, share, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.